what do you make of the, I guess, the arrest of Dr. Hussam Abu Safia, who's been detained by Israeli forces? I mean, we've seen the picture of him. I'm sure you've seen it as well when he was walking towards the Israeli tanks. And he was the director of the Kamal Adwan hospital.
I mean, it's terrible the way in which the local medics have been abducted and held hostage. I mean, he is another in a long line of Gazan doctors that we know has been taken and will be held in a prison in Israel.
Did you know him or work with him at all?
I didn't know him personally, but I do know people that have been taken. We know Mohammed Abaid, who's another orthopedic surgeon who was taken, and we haven't heard any information about him. He's being held in one of the camps in Israel. So that there's lots of people. My anaesthetist, when I was at NASA in August, had been taken from Shifa and held in a camp in Israel for 36 days and told me stories of being cuffed with his hands behind his back and a bag over his head, that he lost 10 kilos in weight, that he was beaten and then suddenly released with no explanation. So you hear these stories firsthand, so you have a kind of image of what is happening to the doctors. So it's very, very upsetting to see the pictures of what happened at Kamal Adwan.
And there was also Iyad Rantisi, who also was reportedly killed in custody. Going back to Hussam Abu Safia's case, I mean, like I said, he was the director of Kamal Adwan. He was quite outspoken about what's happening on the ground in northern Gaza. He played a crucial role in procuring medical aid to the hospital. My question here is, do you think that with his arrest and the rest of others as well, that the Israeli forces are sending a message to any medic that's being outspoken about the situation on the ground?
I think they are definitely targeting medics.
Targeting?
Yeah, I think they are definitely targeting medics. They seem to be arresting a lot of the medical population. And I know from the trips that we did in March and in August, September, that lots of key figures in the hospital had been intimidated and encouraged to leave Gaza, particularly at the beginning of the war. These are stories that we heard firsthand from some of the sort of management level, particularly of the European Gaza hospital.
And if someone were to ask, well, what is your evidence in making a statement like that, what would you say?
It's firsthand from people that I met. So from my colleagues, as I said, my anaesthetist told me that he had been abducted from Shifa and held in a camp in Israel. One of the medical directors at the European Gaza hospital told me that he had been threatened and encouraged to leave at the beginning of the war.
And do you think what's happening at Kamal Adwan is an effort to push people to the south?
Yes, definitely. And that's based on information that I've had from colleagues in Gaza who are from the north and are now unable to get back there because of that Netzarim corridor that's been set up and that is specifically blocking Gazan citizens from returning to the north. So by destroying all of the medical facilities in the north, it does make it very difficult for people to continue living there. They've cut aid to the north. I think recently UNRWA said that of 52 aid trucks going into the north, 48 were denied in some form or another. So you can imagine the situation that the people are in up there.